Thank you very much for joining us on PM Express. As you may be aware, the New Patriotic Party is going for its National Delegates Conference this weekend. It is the first opportunity for the party, and I'm going to use a word that maybe the NPP may not like, to reset the party. Yeah, the word reset has now attained political connotations because the NDC used it quite well in its campaign to recapture power. But in all intents and purposes, that's what the NPP will want to do, because they need to position themselves to recapture power. And at the National Delegates Conference, they have an opportunity to make constitutional amendments that will achieve just that. Position it to be a more attractive force, a more effective political force, an effective machine that will be in a position to maximize the full potential that we know the NPP has. Position themselves possibly for a 2028 victory. That is going to be a tall order indeed. But at least they get an opportunity to start this weekend. And I have just a man to talk to about where the party is right now and where the party wants to go and what changes needs to happen to get them there. He used to be the chairman of the New Patriotic Party. He used to be the Speaker of Parliament. He is an astute, renowned lawyer, and he's my guest on PM Express. He is Freddie Blay. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
And I need to add, he's also a media owner, and so he understands this terrain very well. First, I need to ask you how you are. How are you doing, Mr. Blay?
You're fine.
You're doing well? You look well, actually.
Quite well.
Hale and hearty.
Well, we are rested. And I want to welcome you also to my office for the first time.
Yes, this is my first
We've
time.
known
indeed.
each other for some
For
time.
years, actually.
For years.
Yes.
And I've been watching you host quite a number of shows, and I want to say you've been doing well. I appreciate the way you handle.
I take the compliment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I need to ask you, though, still active politically? Or maybe taking a back seat and going back into...
active politically?
Yes.
I always used to quote what the immediate past president of this country used to say. He said, there are two professions. That's law, in that country, law and politics. You don't retire, you don't have to retire. You are in it as long as your breath can take you. Unless you yourself decide that, well, enough is enough, and you pack your bag and baggage. But you could see this is my office. I'm still reading true law books, advising, and once in a while, put it on the blue bag and go to court. So,
You're still going to court?
Yes, I do. Last week I was in court.
So you're doing this because you love it? Is there a need to do it?
It's a profession, and until the bull is completely rotten. And I remember my uncle, who happened to have been a lawyer, a very renowned lawyer, R.S. Blay, went to the Supreme Court until when he was kicked out of the Supreme Court and he came home. He was still going to court until 79 or 80, when he got sick and passed away. He was going to court. The week before then, he was going to court. So once in a while, nobody forces me to go to court, of course, but I love to be in court. Apart from politics, that's what I know.
Okay. I mean, so as for the law part, we know that's really where you made your name. The politics part, what exactly have you been doing politically?
What have I been doing?
Politically?
Politically,
in the last few months?
Why not? Once in a while, that's why I'm talking to you now. I believe that's the reason why you've come to talk to me. Because you think I belong to my party.
Absolutely.
And maybe you think my voice may carry a little weight.
Yeah.
And then we follow the trend. We advise people. We go to meetings. And we all together have to build a party. You made in your initial statements, you talked a lot about the stage which our party is from your perspective. I listened very carefully. Maybe I could take one or two things from what you say. Then, if it is to use that to advise the younger generation or those who are involved in it actively, the activists and co. We do so. Why not?
So you're advising the current crop of leaders of your party?
We do if they will listen.
Do they listen?
Of course some listen, but it's advisory. You take what you could, and we lived at different times, and the challenges are differently. So your solutions may not be good for the day. They take a cue from what you tell them, but they cannot copy what you have experienced and produce the same. So
you know, life
goes on.
Life goes on. After the elections, it's been now 6-7 months since elections.
Yes.
We've known the outcome. Obviously you had to find an idea what happened in elections. You have time now to do that. You sent the team around the country, they've gathered it. And then now the process to elect the next presidential candidate is in full swing now. The party has set a date for, etc. I want you to look back now, having had the benefit of the last 6 months post-elections and everything that's happened in your party. I want to give me your assessment of your party, where it is now, looking back and reflecting all the lessons you've learned in the last 6 months. How would you describe the current state of your party?
Let me admit that it's not the best of times, yes, for the party. We've not yet completely gotten over it after the elections. The way we lost the elections, it's not surprising for a party to lose power, but the extent to which maybe we were even depleted in terms of our parliamentary seats and co. It's been a hard loss, but we're taking it in our strides. We pick up the pieces, if you call it the way you talk about it, and it's picking up fast. I appreciate that. I'm completely satisfied that the future is bright for our party.
That's just a political optimism.
I'm saying I'm optimistic of the future because, you know, while we were off stage, you mentioned that you don't hear my voice for a while, but of course other journalists have had opportunity to talk and have consistently argued that our government did not do badly. That maybe the only thing that we failed to do was to carry along our membership, a greater portion of our members, and some got quite frustrated and therefore refused to go and vote. But in terms of performance, and I'm being very sincere with you, I think Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government did very well in terms of handling the economy, building infrastructure, building institutions in this country, both political and security institutions, hospitals, education. I think this government did, in terms of even providing employment in the history of this country, that government did extremely well. In spite of the challenges that COVID and the Ukraine war, which some people try to even play it down at that time. But now they realize that even Iraqi war could bring such difficulties. The government did well. The times were a little hard, I must admit. Perception was sometimes extremely exaggerated about corruption and all other things. But as time will tell as to whether I did well or I didn't do well, from my perspective and my conviction, and as I said, I'm being very sincere with you. So far, the government did well in the history of this country. But the verdict was clear. People in this country did vote massively for for John Mahama. And we are in it. When the dust is settled, maybe with your perspective, and with your lenses, you may see clearly what it is.
And I will be asking you to assess John Mahama's last 6 months pretty shortly, but let's stay with your party for a while. I want to pick your thoughts on the recent happenings in your party. The most recent incident is the Ablekuma North. Ablekuma North rerun. Something happened, played out, that for many shows the level of decay and disarray that the party is currently in. The National Executive Committee.
What do you say?
The National Executive Committee had said that you're not going to participate.
Yes, it came out to say that.
Yes, and then you have your candidate openly defy the party's position and announce that she's going to run. And she did run. Not only did she do so against the party's express wishes, she got the support of the former vice president who donated monies to her and it was made public. Brian Champon did the same also. We had other stalwarts of the party in the constituency campaigning for her when the party that you once chaired had said, we are not participating. First of all, did you first agree with the decision not to participate when the party announced that?
Of course I did.
You did?
The party decided firmly that they were not going to take part, yes. They relayed the message to then the candidate and again the candidate, the same candidate that participated. It was an unfortunate, I'll call it a mix-up of some sort. Mind you, the party was in court. They had tried for an interim injunction to restrain the Electoral Commission from going ahead for very good reasons. And experts, lawyers, and those who are observing what has happened, based on what the Electoral Commission itself had come out to say, we only need trade to collate. The only thing we lacked was security to be provided by the police. So the police provided the security, we go and collect the result. Not even rerun, collate. 3. I'm told, I'm not there, I wasn't there, that even in Parliament, they did tell parliamentarians we are going to do. This is what remains to be done. Only thing to be provided for us to collate the results would be security by the police. Within a question of weeks or so, after I won't go into comment by other players, then the Electoral Commission comes out with a surprise. Bam! It's now 19. We go to rerun. 19 polling stations. The party appeared to have been confused. Yes? What's happening? What's the Electoral Commission doing? Then, of course, our first reaction to go to court. We went to court, and the court, from its own perspective, its own decision, insisted that the injunction cannot be sustained, so it should go ahead. Of course, the party had been surprised, not by Electoral Commission, but even by the court. But be it as it may, be met and said that, well, in that case, if you want to give us about 3-4 days to go for the election, we will not be interested in that. We knew the background of what had happened before, even during the main election that took place in 2024. We have not decided to do so, but you can imagine when your child in your house wants to play a football, thinks he wants to display that he had won before and he could show his or her prowess and co. Even when they don't do it, you may do it. It's a defiance. You looked at it.
But that's a symptom of a party in disarray.
No, don't worry, because a lot of people have made mistakes. It's a political party. It's not. We are not in the army camp. It's not a regimented body. It's a collection of individuals, willing individuals. It's an association. Political party is an association of like minds who sometimes have purposes and want to build their country, contribute. So we allow everybody to come in. We have rules, yes. We have constitution. But it's not, as I said, a police force or the army that if you step here, you cross a red line and immediately take an action against you. It was a difficult. We discussed it at the National Council the day before yesterday.
Yeah.
And we decided maybe to tamper
Justice with mercy.
Justice with mercy.
And you go ahead to apologize.
Yes. He agreed, apologized to us, and maybe it will come.
And she
to
did
the
it
public.
publicly too.
He's going to do that. I believe he's going to do that.
But Mr. Blay, you're a member of the council.
Will you understand what I'm saying? So it was a difficult position. It's not because one person defies and does something which was not to hurt the party, but thought that if you win, it will add to the numbers of a depleted party in parliament. It was tricky.
It wasn't
for
tricky.
us. So far as we were concerned, it was tricky.
It wasn't.
So some people.
It wasn't. So the
some
extent that the
people.
party was
Let me tell you what it did.
participating.
Some people thought she should have obeyed. It came to apologize. That I thought I would win. He even narrated a few. I don't want to go into the details. Narrated a few that I've done this, I've served this community. I thought I would be the best person to help, and I thought I could easily win. And I had no time to come and even discuss it with the General Secretary. I did it. But be it as it may, I'm sorry. I'm before you. What do you think I should be? Some argue for and against for a while. We discussed it at length. And we say,
your position was in the meeting? Were you with those who say...
Don't let me tell you the details. But as I said...
No, your personal position.
I don't want to tell you my personal position on that.
You must have one.
But that's what I don't want to share with you today. But we decided that let apologize, let accept. Besides other people who made a few other unsavory comments, we will take it like that.
But that is a question I have for you, Mr. As a member of the National Council, the candidate wasn't the only one who defied the express directive of the party. In fact, Dr. Bawumia did too. He provided funds for her campaign when he knew the party said we are not participating. Brent Champon also was on the ground helping her campaign. We had miracles. We had Hawa Kumsing. We'll talk about the violence very shortly.
That's why
all of these individuals violated the party.
No, Evans, stop there. That's why I'm telling you that we discussed distance. Those who thought that, well, he may be a son of a bitch. I'm not referring to her. That's an American saying. But it's our own son of a bitch.
But she wasn't the only son. The others who also...
But it says he might be, as I said, it's not, I'm not referring to her.
Yeah.
So he might be a son of a bitch. It's an American saying. But the person is our own son of a bitch. We wouldn't disown him because of what he had done. We wouldn't disintegrate over what... Because those who heard, and they didn't give their best help that you could. Be it as said, the result was, you could see it's only 200 lost. Maybe if you had decided to go fully, she could have maintained it. But it was a question of principle. The party decided not to do that because of principle.
Do you regret that the party you didn't participate fully?
Who?
Do you regret that the party didn't just simply put
looking back, I don't think we regret it. As I said, it was a matter of principle. We wanted, our party is a party made up based on constitution. And we also appreciate the laws of this country. We deal with institutions like Electoral Commission, the police service, and all that seriously. And if they would hold on to their words, we don't want to do that as well. So whatever it is, they decided not to provide, the police decided not to give security for the collation. Strangely, the Electoral Commission also decided now we are going for 19. Come on, something is happening. So we decided we were not going to go. But looking back, maybe our candidate should not have taken part. But she did.
Was she the only one who was asked to apologize?
Well, quite a number of people have been asked. In fact, in some cases, we have been referred to a disciplinary committee. We don't know the number of people because we are still going into the details.
All of them related to their decision to defy the party's orders in Ablekmanov?
on various issues, including that.
Including that. So what you're confirming is that certainly there are some individuals who have been referred to the disciplinary committee because of their decision to defy the party's directive on applicable norms.
Well, not just to defy, because they didn't offer themselves for, let's say, elections. The only one who offered themselves for elections is the...
But those who went there to support and campaign, etc.?
Well, we did some acts that we should know. I said we are investigating what to do with some people who conduct might have been interpreted as having defied or gone against the party's constitution and the resolutions of National Council.
So the rerun happened, and then there was violence. Some of your stalwarts were assaulted. Howard Kumsin, we saw the videos of what happened. What's your
Evans, you just put it there. The rerun happened, and there was violence. It's a very serious matter, looking at it. Fortunately, again, when we were talking, as I said, social media, it's almost outpacing the
traditional media.
Yes, traditional media of some sort. We've seen what happened after those who were involved in the mayhem, where they went to meet.
Where they went to meet?
When they went to meet. It is all on the social media.
What do you mean they went to meet?
Well, they were all gathered at the Jubilee House.
Well, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, who also happens to be the Deputy Director of Operations at the Jubilee House, has dismissed this allegation.
Are you defending them, or you?
No, he was on my show with your Deputy General Secretary, and this matter came up, and I need to put that to you because you repeated it. His explanation that those that you saw in the video were people who they were going to be trained for the group that they are training for, anti-galamsey task force, but also the gold board task force that they were training, and somebody took a video of that.
You have two eyes, I have two eyes.
Well, that's his explanation.
Well, when I say you have two eyes, I have two eyes. We saw people who were involved in the mayhem. They were there, but if they were the people being trained, we take it like that.
So,
if this is your explanation,
no, that's the Deputy Secretary's explanation of what happened.
Ghanaians know better. So that's all I was saying.
Yeah, but the violence that we saw there is a violence that both parties have been guilty of.
Why do you say that?
Well, it's been a cycle. I mean, under your watch, we had the Ayawaso West.
That is the normal rehash. That's what people talk about. Me, I was a victim of violence, intolerance. Me and the chairman, then he was a general secretary. Said they were in a different car, we were in a different car. Azoka, who happened to be the executive, national executive, brought people I saw with my own eyes. They had AK-47 and co. Police stopped them, argued with them, and came. But at a police station that I, then as first vice, national chairman, with all my treasurer, everything, I were brutally assaulted. Brutally assaulted. Taken to Bulga Hospital. It's not, you don't use only ayahuasca here. I'm saying this has been the practice for some time. Yeah. We had cause to complain. We had a meeting, we called a meeting with the police hierarchy. That complain. That's Asutifi, is it Asutifi North and Asutifi South? But some people have had their arms amputated, beaten. Some, our candidate there has refused to continue with all these things. We have complained against a good friend of mine's brother, Collins Dauda's brother, who's been terrorized for consecutively and seriously over time. So don't make it look like as if they are violent because of ayahuasca at one. one instance that we mentioned. I don't want to go into that again. But I'm saying that it's not what we are used to. Mind you, if I want to be very brutal with you, or frank with you, let me put it that way. The president, a very good friend, I heard him with my own ears. Now when it comes to violence, nobody can beat them. I was surprised. And it's being shown. People are doing that brazenly, attacking all our officers, attacking former minister, attacking the deputy youth organizer. That will everybody be in front of police. You are coming and say, you are all guilty of it. Evans, come and tell me. You are all guilty of the same thing.
That is a fact.
You make me a little bit sad when I'm talking to you about it. It's not good for this country.
It is.
That was the reason why, you know what we did?
Tell me.
The president then, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, insisted that we should disband vigilantism. I, Freddie Blay, I was the chairman then. But I thought that maybe before you put down the gun, you must raise it. That was a deterrent. Sometimes we've suffered it. When the police are standing by and we are being beaten, our office had been invaded. People had even come to put guns there and made it look like as if we were a borrowed gun in our premises. So I said, let's have vigilante people so that they take care of it, let them be disciplined.
So you set up the
vigilantes?
At
that time, we allowed them to be there. Not that we didn't call it vigilante, we called them party security. But we wanted them to be disciplined, be it as it may. Mr. President said
and the reason was what? At the time that you were conceiving the idea to form the vigilantes, what was the reason?
At the time that the whole idea was set up to find party security, we were being brutalized. People come from outside, come and beat us. They come when we go for any meeting before we realize that. Some people brazen, as I said, Zoka, I remember very well, who became regional vice chair or chair of NDC. See, in front of me with AK-47. I didn't know what to do. But however, my pole was taken away from me, my heart, they pushed me down. A few friends came to save me from that scare. My treasurer was beaten, we had to take it to hospital. A few others who were drivers and co, we were only saved when the military came around. I'm saying tenancy. So we said, now, if the police cannot guard, police were there. If the police cannot guard us, then we must as well find people who can protect us.
So this was all happening before the 2016 elections, I presume?
That's right. That's right.
So that's when you said
and as I said, we had a meeting with the police hierarchy. IGP and his command.
To register your complaint about how
that's what is happening.
But then you decided to take the law into your own hands then?
How did we decide to take? We didn't decide to take the law into our hands. We said, let's protect ourselves. Let's have security around us.
Private security?
It's not, not registered private security.
But that's illegal. You can't do that.
No, what do you mean? You can't protect yourself if you have your brother standing by you so that he has more muscle than you. So that if somebody is coming to beat you, won't allow, like the way how I was treated, like the way some of people were treated. So that they could give you protection. It's not, I will not subscribe to violence. I will not subscribe to breakdown of law. But definitely, what is happening now, we won't take part in politics.
You're saying that what happened?
Take part in politics.
What happened in Ablik Manot justified the decision then and before 2016 to form those groups?
Ablik Manot, where?
No, I'm saying that.
What is happening now, unfortunately, tend to give some kind of impetus for people that, hey, let's also protect ourselves. I have not subscribed to that. I won't have subscribed to that. But if you are not careful, you'll be alone in the light, thinking that it shouldn't happen. All others says, if you don't want to do it, I'm going home.
But many
I'm going home. But you sit here. Look, when you are coming here, and you see that people are kidnapping others. So in Nigeria, everybody has protection.
You know, you touch on
everybody has protection.
On a very sensitive matter.
If you don't have protection, people want to come and beat you in your studio. Will you work?
Yeah,
will you take part?
That is why
You
we
are
have the
comfortable
police- that's why
talking to
we
me
have the police-
in this way.
We have the police service.
When the police is standing there and the people are still coming to beat you, where will you come? Your wife will advise you not to come to work. Let's be very realistic. So guns and violence are not selective. It's not a zero-sum game. We must together agree to stop this one.
And that's an important point.
Don't make it look like as if, well, because we've been beaten, are you going to beat some others? Others are saying it. Some are doing that way, but I don't subscribe to that.
Many trace.
If you don't take care, people like you don't help when you host such programs. You appeal to all of us, those who want to get themselves involved in politics, that going to hire hoodlums, going to hire those who have muzzles to come and beat your opponents doesn't help.
And you say that Akufo-Addo then after the elections demanded that you disband the groups. And then the law was passed under his watch to now make it illegal. So you disbanded the groups. But the...
After several meetings in Aburi,
yes.
I said, yes, I led the NPP, me and my general secretary. We had, remember a lot of people, the National something Council and Peace Council, pastors and co, including Duncan Williams, they were all there with us. We stopped it.
You stopped it. But then the concern is a lot of those individuals then found themselves into national security, which then leads us to Ayawaso West Wagon.
Which I'm not in a position to know that, because I was not in control. I was not the one recruiting them. How many people were recruited to the national security?
Well, if you pay attention,
the national security itself, how many people were
the
involved?
evidence before the
How many
Ayawaso West Wagon
No,
Commission
less than at West, less than 200 people could have been recruited if they qualified to do it. Less than 200 in this country. But the vigilante groups in this country, both sides, runs into thousands. We should stop it.
And that's a fundamental point, right? You had an opportunity on the back of the commission's work after Ayawaso West Wagon to adopt the recommendations and use that as a basis to stop it. The white paper dismissed and rejected almost everything. Even the ones that you accepted were not implemented. That is why we are where we are with Ablik Manok today.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, maybe the other side didn't implement it. But we...
You know you didn't. Your government...
Our government
set it up.
suspended it.
No, it didn't. In fact, 2 days ago, I spoke to the executive secretary of the commission, Kofi Abochu, who was on my show, and he's still disappointed that Akufo-Addo set it up and failed to implement the recommendations. Almost everything was not
please, maybe we are at
I'm talking about the Ayawaso West Wagon Commission of Inquiry report.
Well, I'm not in a position to talk much about it.
Yeah. But it wasn't implemented.
As I said,
if it was,
I did not.
Probably would have dealt with Ablik Manok.
Well, I can't speak to it because I never read it. But I thought you were talking about implementation of the banning.
No, that was done. I'm talking about the Ayawaso West Wagon Commission of Inquiry.
The government.
Report.
I'm not here to speak on behalf of the government then concerning implementation of a commission of inquiry or its recommendation. I wouldn't. A lot of things.
You know, there's a Tiwa around the corner, the by-election.
Yeah,
You've made the point that the violence must stop. How do you avert this from recurring?
Well, some of us, what we are doing is that...
Akwitia,
yes.
Akwitia.
What we are saying is that, please, first and foremost, we should not encourage it. Some are saying, look here, Akwitia, let's prepare very well now. Let's also organize ourselves. I think a fear for this country if we get to do.
Where do you stand on that?
Why do I stand on that?
Defend yourself or resort to the police for Akwitia?
The question is that the police, what are they doing? We must tell the police, can they give protection? And then we say soldiers should not be there. Soldiers may.
Do you want the soldiers there in Akwitia?
I want peace to prevail. I want it to be enforced. It's not my decision to bring either the police, prison warders or what you may have. But those in authority, the security agencies in this country, should ensure it is in their interest. It is nobody's interest to let there be lawlessness. As I told you, it's not a zero-sum game. It may affect all of us, affect me, maybe first because I call myself a politician. But please, in many places where it's happening, you may be second in line if you call yourself a pressman.
Will you be in Apitia yourself?
Why not? It's my party going there. Why
You
would
will?
I be there?
Okay. I'm going to take a break. When I return, my guest is still Freddie Blay. We'll talk about the party's National Delegates Conference now. What are his own expectations and what must the party do on Saturday to reform, to be in a position to recapture power in 2028? And then we'll talk a bit more about Ghana. I want his assessment about John Mahama's last 6 months. Stay with me. And thanks for staying with us here on PM Express. My guest is still the former national chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay. He's a lawyer. He also was the Speaker of Parliament. I'm delighted that he joins us. Deputy Speaker of Parliament. I'm delighted that he joins us for a conversation. And this weekend, something major is going to happen in your party. You have the National Delegates Conference. We've been told that a few proposals have been tabled for reform in your party. What's your own expectation of Saturday?
Well, as I said earlier on, I said the party has a constitution. There are a few areas that proposals have been put across the National Council, first NEC, National Council. And, it means that we should have to change a few, but amend a few provisions in the Constitution. That's exactly what we want to do. So we've collated opinions, amendment proposals. That's what I'm talking about. We brought together, we will table them before the delegates, and then it will be debated. A few will be debated. Yeah. Highlight a few ones, and then, and of course.
One of the proposals I've read is one that says that you should one man, one vote in your primaries and your elections, so that you expand the electoral college to everybody who's a card-bearing member. Is this something that you ascribe to?
Ideally, that should be the best for our party members. That everybody should have a voice, but even national elections, not all people vote. In this case, people, when you talk about the logistics, it's almost impossible, because the electoral commission will have to come to one place to see the people. We have over 2 million or more members of our party. We can't insist that all of them should come and vote for. It's not a national election. So some members, that's why they are represented in terms of the executives, which the Constitution was formulated into delegates conference or delegates congress. So in this case, it's a conference that we're going to have. Yeah. It's not a congress for election. The conference to look at it, the proposed amendments.
Yes. Do you support the expansion of the delegates
Well,
structure to
yes, it's not a very big expansion. And we said that we should have some of our past executives of the party from top to bottom have the right to vote, because their votes at every party election, and then we should expand.
So this is a limited expansion, not one that is open up to every card-bearing member of your
and
party.
then we will increase the electoral area representation. It used to be only 1 or so. We want to make it maybe 5, and then executives could also cast their vote, and those who are appointees, political appointees, they also take part. MPs who may not be MP, former MPs and co, they should also take part. It's a limited expansion. Ideally, I will agree with you that everybody should express his opinion about a candidate that you want to use for, but you can't do it. It's logistically, it will be a nightmare. We can't even afford it. So that's what it is.
In addition to that, though, which are the other key proposals on the table?
Honestly, I can't say. I can remember a couple of them, but it was read out to us and go, some of them, and other people will come up with their own proposal, but which it's been given in a book. I've not had the privilege of having one. But what was discussed at the National Council, the age for the youth to participate in the youth election. Okay. We should participate. Should all of us vote for, let's say, the women organizers? Some of these things are limited to only women, and now we want to propose that. There are quite a few that I don't want to talk on until maybe.
I have made the point that this is really your first real opportunity to begin resetting the party for victory.
That's what I feel. I must stop you there. Resetting what? Resetting what? We have a constitution. No, please don't talk about resetting. If people have an idea that what resetting
is it the word reset that you have a quarrel with, or the fact that you need to reform?
Well, if you want to talk about reform, that's an I understand.
So is the word you have a quarrel with?
No. If you say you want to reform, but even then, as I said, we are not reforming the party. The party isn't gone into some that you say reform. We are making changes, yes.
Yeah, that's what you
propose. And the proposal for changes come from the members.
Yeah.
For anybody to sit down and say that you have to reset it, you have to reform, nothing is gone absolutely wrong. Maybe, as I said,
there's everything wrong with the NPP. Right now. There's everything wrong with your party now.
That's from your perspective.
No, it's not.
No, please.
The 2024 elections says it all.
No, listen.
The outcome
this is not the first time we've gone for an election and lost.
No, nobody has lost the way you lost in the 2024 election.
Before 2024, the NDC had not lost the way they lost.
Yes, but you've topped that. That's my point.
We could maybe the next time they may be reduced. We
don't have a maybe yet. The reality
is, listen, you can't predict. This is election.
For the first time, because you were deputy speaker first, and let me go back there. For the first time, you have a party in parliament right now with an absolute majority, 2/3. Never happened before. Because maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know.
1992.
Yeah, that's an outlier. No, we don't count
that.
I mean,
let me tell you, you've made a very
sweeping contest.
We didn't contest.
Yes.
1996, we were 65 out of 150. You don't know.
Yeah, but
you said this is the first time.
Was that 2/3?
No, wait.
At the time,
150. And we had less than NPP had less than 65. It's about 65 if you put the minorities together. That's what happened. So it was an overwhelming majority, isn't it?
Yeah, it's overwhelming, yes.
Overwhelming majority.
But the constitutional
threshold. That meant when it changed. The next election we had 169.
Your point is?
The point is that it swings. You can even move from 0 to 100. It's possible. This is politics. Evans, if you don't know.
Yeah, of course.
So don't make it look like as if you're looking at today's reality. Because we have gone for an election after being in power for 8 years, and then I've already discussed with you the factors that we think contributed towards the frustration and maybe the laws that we had. You know. We went to 88. And that doesn't mean that the party needs absolute reform and that
you don't?
We should reset. Others will reset themselves, but it doesn't mean that they may do so. But don't ask from that what you may read or what you think ought to be done. A party, we are not surprised. Listen, we are down, we agree, but greatness is not never falling down, but rising anytime you fall. This party survived. We were not born. I was not born when the party was born. This is time until now. Other parties have just come to wait. Even the one-time greatest party, CPP, look at what it is. I was, but I moved on. Even that party almost has disintegrated. So don't worry.
If the NPP is not at risk of disintegration?
No, the NPP has been very resilient over time. I don't want to go into that. Saying that it is the ideology of the NPP is liberal democracy. And that's what they are doing. Maybe they are working on. And those who believe in it, you can even let people leave, but the idea won't die. It's going on to live. And I said people will still come around. Yeah. Ghanaians will also look back and see, was it good? They will compare.
Yeah. So you're confident you will rise. I think that remains to be seen. But it is how you do it, how you get from where you currently are, rock bottom. You've hit rock bottom.
That, if you want to talk about, no, we haven't rock.
Yeah, you've hit rock
bottom. We've not hit rock bottom. I'm saying we've lost an election. Yes. How we do it, leave it to us.
Yeah, I mean, but I need to ask you because you are.
We can't give solutions on this program.
But it's part of picking your thoughts.
Well, I can't tell you now.
In your
I will have to give you a complete lecture of what we want to do and how we are going to do it.
In your view,
I won't do that.
What do you think the party must do?
Exactly what we are doing. We started doing. We want to have an early election, but even there we don't decide. It's not National Council that decides. We're going.
But that has been decided.
It's not just National Council that decides. Well, what do you do? What do you do? How do you go about it? We are going for a conference to discuss it. Yeah. After that.
But that's not up for discussion at the National Council. I mean, the early.
That the Constitution says the National Council, which does that.
And so you've decided
we've decided that order. But there are other related issues that to be settled. That's I told you about the Constitution that we needed to amend about that. What I should even immediately apply or the next year. So there are quite a number of other.
So are you one of those who support the early primaries next year? That you should do that first before you do any other internal elections?
When you talk about early primaries, that's what the presidential primaries. Yes. I'm 100%.
You're for it.
Yes.
You're for it. I mean, and what's your reaction to those who say that is just a smokescreen to give Dr. Bawumia an advantage?
People have, fortunately, somebody has asked me before, and people have their own opinion. So this is not the first time that has happened. 1998 it did happen. But let's explain. Maybe it gives further for you to, as it were, to do a lot of mischief if you want to do it. The media do a lot of mischief, to cap on it when people are attacking each other. This one says, you've done this one, you've done that one. It is not in our best interest. After this defeat, we needed to put ourselves together, to hit the road running and do campaign and expose our presidential candidate first and foremost. And therefore, we stop the bickering. This, to me, is the major and the most significant reasons why we are having our, primary selling. So that we'll be in a position also to sell our candidate, market him, let people buy him, and let him explain his or her own ideas early. Whoever wins, we are okay with it.
Are you in support of any of the aspirants now?
It's not fair for you to ask me this question because I happen to be, but definitely have an opinion.
No, you are just a member of the National Council.
Yes.
You must have an opinion.
I definitely have an opinion.
Yes.
Definitely have
do you
an
support
opinion.
any of the aspirants?
I do.
Baumia?
Definitely.
You support Baumia?
I support Baumia.
Why?
Well, I think he's best marketed. The candidate that I have not changed my opinion about the ideas that he had for this country. I think maybe we did not do the marketing very well. And people, we allow propaganda and agitation to cloud some people's perception. And for that matter, they did not consider him for the best. But let's give him a little more time. And let's see what other people are doing with regards to our economy and governance. Then, of course, people in this country will see for what it is. I have not changed my opinion about him.
In spite of the evidence of the 2024 elections, his resounding rejection.
We have talked about it. We have talked about it. You see, some people talked about resounding rejection, but he's the president. He was the presidential candidate.
Yes, he was his face on the ballot paper.
Not only him. There were parliamentary candidates on the ballot sheets. We lost it. So it was rejection of our party. Let's agree. But we're doing our homework well, and maybe you, if you even have an opinion, we may be able to change your opinion.
Yeah, but as an individual, I mean, those who say he's a damaged good now.
We have heard this before. Maybe you were a young boy then. J.H. Mensah, who was a finance minister, and what is it? It was senior minister, and President J. Kufuor. J.H. Mensah at an election at at a rally did say that Kufuor was a damage with Banchi. Banchi, it's you don't bring it when they didn't buy it. You don't bring it back the next day. He said it. But this is political gimmicks, and you can't ignore that for a while.
So you believe that Baumia still has what it takes to bring the party back to power?
I have no doubts about it, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a conference. And you've asked me a question. Some people say it's being cooked for Baumia. I think that's not fair. What has been cooked? You say, let's go for primaries early. Then you say, because we say we should go early, we are cooking it for Baumia. I find that's not fair. It's below the belt. That's not fair. And you are repeating it. That's what people are saying. I wish you could have done a little more analysis of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, the analysis of it is simple. The structure that elected him the last time is the same structure now that will be going to that primary. That structure, if you were going by convention, should have been changed.
The fact is, the people who voted for one party or one government may not change significantly the next time. So Ghanaians don't change. They vote. They change their mind. Not that the human beings change. I could have voted for one person at the primaries this year. Next year, I might change my mind. Don't make it look like as if it's only one people or some people are there forever. And for that matter, if you go for the 10 times, they will vote the same way they voted the last time. I think that's, to be very honest with me, I think sometimes it amounts to abuse of our intelligence.
Except that not precisely, because if you look at the way your party is structured, this is the first time you're having the primary before you have your party.
I've already told you. I've told you that it's been done before. The first time it was 98. We did vote the primaries before. So what's your problem?
You did a primary
That's
before
right.
you
That's
elected
right.
all the other
That's right. It's been done before.
Leaders
Yes.
of your party.
Yes.
In 1998.
That's right.
And Kufuor, you say, then won the 2020 elections.
It did.
So your conclusion
I am
is
not concluding. I am, you see, it's not mathematics. It's not the kind of logic you say, after this happened, and therefore this will happen. No. I'm saying we are trying other things. And we think, and I did also explain that what we are encountering now is the bickering, attack on each other, insults.
You must be very disappointed then in the way the campaign, although it's not formally.
It happens. I know. That's campaign.
been run
Sometimes
so
we
far.
tell the leadership stop doing that. The National Council, that National Council of Elders have called the leaders to tell them, to advise them. I know that. We've done that before. But still, it continues. The only way to do that is let's have it early. And then everybody knows the smoothness level. And we move on. It is what it will be, period. One person will be elected, no matter what. Unless those who want to take part and speculate and make it look like as if there is a conspiracy somewhere that we want to give it to this man. I don't get it. I don't. Listen, maybe everybody has his intention. I've told you, you've asked me, what do you want to vote? I said, vote for this one. It's plain that nobody had come to us to canvass anything for me. But at this age.
You have your convictions
yes.
and you believe in something. So we can expect then you'll be campaigning for Bamia when the time is up, is right?
I will campaign for anybody who's voted for. That's for sure.
But
even though I'm saying that I'm for Bamia,
yeah.
if the party delegates decide otherwise at the end of the day, well, I respect the majority opinion. I'll go by it, for sure. That's why I will not go ahead, go and insult others, individuals, here and there. If you are for this, then you are like this, you are that. I won't do that. I won't do that.
It's fascinating you say that. There's been one chorus you hear when I spent some time in Ashanti region before the elections, trying to understand what is happening in your stronghold, because I always maintain, if you want to know what's going to happen in an election, spend time in the party stronghold. You can go to that voter region to try and understand. Go to Ashanti region. It gives you good sense on what's going to happen. In Ashanti region...
Well, from your perspective,
yeah, but
sometimes it may be wrong.
Well, in the last 3 elections, each time I've done it, it gives me a clear sense.
Well...
So it's become my method.
Your method, I understand.
Of projecting elections. And one of the things you get, and you still get a view now, and I guess it's one of the reasons why before the elections, there was a sense that you needed advice from the Ashanti region at all costs. You get this freeze thrown back at you. The Ashantis want to take their party back because they feel they've been marginalized in their own party, and they want to go back to that J. Kufuor kind of, and again that fed into the nomination and the final confirmation of Manto Poku, etc. That dynamic, how much value do you think there is on that? There are people who believe that the party must return to its core base in Ashanti.
Well,
and the next presidential candidate
see,
will necessarily be the person.
I would have preferred not to get involved with the discussion that the party is ethnic base. Every party has its own base, as you put up. Support base may come from what? For various factors. For various factors. Among them will be also sometimes ethnicity. Party, traditionally, people have voted from one group or from one region, from one community and voted for this, so they continue to do that. It's accepted. But apart from that, there are other factors that influence the voting of our party. We agree has a strong base in Ashanti. But it's not only Ashanti that vote for a party. Other regions, various people, accounts, they say it's account based. Accounts are a majority in this country. So we should not base it on it, but we may go to election and we may lose. Irrespective of whatever it is. But sometimes when the voters come out strongly in their numbers, particularly in Ashanti, of course, we have a little advantage out of that. But the party has always been victimized on the idea that it's an Ashanti, and in your presentation, you even did say that they say they want to take their party. So no, the party doesn't belong to one ethnic group. It belongs to all of us. The support base may be higher there, yes. And you say that, they say by all means the vice should come, the presidential or the vice will come from one region or no. I don't think that is the case. I don't think that is the case. We don't want to be pigeonholed into that mentality. You know, it's not so.
On that theme, though, last few days, we've heard John Ajekun Kufuor, and I believe if I say he's your good friend, I wouldn't be far from the truth, complain that he has been sidelined. We saw the video seated next to him was Brian Champon.
Did you hear him say so?
Well, in Chi, or say, my Chi is not that good.
Try, Evans.
But in essence, or say, I mean, he's been there throughout the period. He mentions his own history and sacrifice of the party. And then when decisions are being taken, he isn't consulted. I mean, just to paraphrase, he isn't consulted. When you heard that, I know you understand the P language better than I do. When you heard did you watch the video? You must have seen the video.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
But what I'm reporting is what he said. He's sat next to me.
I won't take your report.
Yes.
For you don't even understand Chi.
Oh, I understand Chi very well. It's my articulation of it that is challenged.
So I don't want to go
by the way,
that.
I grew up in the Eastern region, so Chi is a thing that I understand and speak very well to that. But he was fundamentally complaining about being sidelined.
As I said, I've not heard it, but whatever it is, why we have not listened to it, and maybe even people have misconstrued it of what he says. Of course, he will be happy if it will be good, and we value Kufuor. It's an icon, the icon of he and Nana Dankwa Kufuor for the parties now. They are the two symbolic icons of the party. So we definitely value their opinion. You do consultation, and the other times it was raised at the party national council meeting. And of course, the executive tried to explain whatever it is, but there must be more deeper, consultation and co. But as I always keep on telling you, we govern by constitution as well. So the party respects his opinion, will listen not only to his, but to Nana Dankwa Kufuor's opinions as well, because they have been the two presidents as well, president of this country from our party we have had. But be it as it may, the leadership sorting it out.
Yes, because they allow the problem to fester in the first place. For him to say publicly, that is an indictment on your party.
As I said, I don't want to go into that. I have not heard it. But at the National Council, let me be honest with you.
But it came up in National
Council.
Wait,
the National
so you must
Council.
have heard it.
No, the National Council meeting, it was discussed.
Yes.
The National Council meeting, the General Secretary explained, said that there are people who go between the President, I'm talking about President Kufuor, and the party. It could be the communication link that there could be a problem with that, but we're trying to work on it. I don't think it's any problem that you, as I told you, you could exploit to our detriment by harping on it and making it look like
why did the party sit down for this to happen, J. Kufuor?
At the moment, I'm not talking for the leadership of the party, but I told you first I have not listened to it. But I've told you that at the National Council meeting, they explained that there could be little.
You bought that explanation?
Of course I did. It was very. They wanted to, the records to show that this is what we are doing, this is what we did. We passed through this, we took through this. Then, so we could maybe go to him more often.
So what, the communication gap?
But there could be a communication gap, but it could be taken care of. It's not fatal to the extent that it creates problem for us. No.
Subsequent to that National Council meeting, you set up a 5-member committee to try and engage him.
Not engage him, to go and let him know that this about this conference that is going on. We wish he had been here, but since he was on, he had also expressed he would have loved to be here. And then the 5-member that, since you know it, was said to definitely go and relay that info and explain it very well to him.
But also to try and fix and address his concerns.
That was not part of their mandate.
Well, I have spoken to Katie Hammond.
I'm saying that was not.
I spoke to Katie Hammond, is part of the committee, and this is not secret. I was talking to him live on radio. And
well, maybe the executive have added to it, but at the National Council, which I was sitting, I was frontliner. I had it. We discussed this, and then they came out with the names of those who are going to tell Mr. President J. Kufuor that sorry we can't, but we will arrange maybe Zoom contribution. But definitely we have loved for him to come with his boom voice and address the gathering.
How involved is another former president on the ticket of your party, your very, very good friend, Nana Akufo-Addo? How involved is he now in the party affairs?
He himself has said that I've told you, I've quoted him, that he says that politics and law, you don't retire. Now, he's been president for 8 years. Maybe now he wants to rest a little. But everything that is happening, I believe, he will be aware. He has a secretariat, and he has friends who visit him regularly. And therefore, you'll be briefed of what is happening. But now he needs a little rest. And that's what.
Have you been in touch with him? Because I know you are very good friends.
Oh, definitely. We who have served him under him, and I've worked with him, are his good friends. And we hope to be his friends for a very, very long time. Yes.
So when you hear the verdict on his tenure, as has been delivered as the worst in the Fourth Republic, and beside many unprecedented, painful occurrences, DDEP, domestic debt exchange, pensioners' savings were affected. The middle class was wiped out because those who were saving, poor people like myself, who managed to save a little bit into bonds, all were wiped out and haircuts, etc. People point to that. People point to the corruption that we're now seeing post his departure. Even his own relative, former finance minister, is now a man who's wanted by Interpol, and etc. etc. When you listen to that post tenure assessment and verdict, how do you feel about it? How does that make you feel?
Evans, please. As I said, this is not the first time people have asked me this question, and therefore sometimes I get a bit frustrated with trying to give an answer to some of them. One, earlier on, even to you now, I've just said that I still believe that the government did very well. Its economic policies were good. They worked hard at it. Build the economy to the extent that we were getting out of the woods. We're not out of it totally yet. But Nana Addo government was doing very well. Now, of course, it was a human situation. This might have gone wrong one way or this basis. Economic policy, the way decision, it's either way or that, either that. Pension and co that you mentioned, and haircut, and what is it, banking that people loan. These are policies, painful policies. The Bible even says that, if you ask for the Lord for this, the Lord is your father, and he doesn't want you to suffer. If you ask for bread, he'll give you snakes. Which government wants to, as it were, do battles to hurt the citizenry? I don't believe so, but it's a question of your efforts. What do you do? Economic policies that you mounted, that you followed, the options that you have. It's a question of time for us. I say when the dust is settled, then you know as whether this policy was good or that one. People even wanted to bury the government in their mind. You took 58 million and went to dig a hole, and the hole is there. They said, and some say that they should chase the man there because he's chopped the money. The results, what people have said that it's not true. There are quite a number of issues, even in terms of savings, in terms of the city dancing over. I say what policies were pursued, as to whether they were good, beneficial, in terms of gold reserve and so. These are many of them that one can talk about. Even the idea of the policy to mop up the banks and let some of them go out of the system and go. This is very painful. People have put up their banks and it happened, but it had to be done. It had to be done. Very painful decisions. Now we are even talking of people putting up, what is it? D-levy, Dimso levy. Maybe you are happy with it. But me too, from what I am, a lot of people are not happy with it. They are angry over it. But maybe it depends on where you look at it. And over time, you will know. Those who are introducing it say that it is good. And those who were very angry with even the, what is it, the other levy?
E-levy.
E-levy, which was 1 cedi, optional, depending on what you are doing. But as I said, we will talk about it later and let the dust settle and see when you compare water and drink, that you know which one has weight over time. One government may not stay for long, but too long.
So you mean history will vindicate his record?
I am absolutely certain about that. I am absolutely certain about that. From my perspective, that's what I'm saying.
And one final question on Akufo-Addo. Would you agree with those who say part of his weakness was that he was too loyal to those close to him? A prime example they always cite is Ken Ofori-Atta.
Well, you see,
in fact, the first time we saw members of the government's own party in parliament rise up against, and he still stood and said, I'm not going to let him.
A lot of things had gone on. Looking back, one could say...
Was loyalty to him his weakness?
It's not a question of loyalty. As I said, if I'm today saying, I argue with you that the economy was doing not that badly, was okay, and I thought history would pass a more merciful judgment for whatever you did, and they would say that you did well. He was part of it. He was in charge of it. Now, people argue that, our own people argue. Like you said, the members of parliament, many of them, about over 90, when they said that, get rid of him for whatever it is. A lot of things have gone on. You
should have listened to them, right?
Maybe in my local parlance, for scheduled reasons, listen to the voice of your people who are following you. They say they want, but sometimes it's difficult. What do you think? I have no reason to do this, but if you say I should do it, I think one of these days, if you have the opportunity, you may have to argue with him or interview him about it. I had the privilege of discussing this one-on-one with him about it. At that time, the agitation was going on. And he was not convinced about that. And I respected his opinion. Although, maybe if I were him, I would say for scheduled reasons, I would say, let my friend go. But maybe he cared about the economy. He thought that he was handling it in the best way. He was on top of it. But as I said, it's an opinion. It's a question of you may vote for this way or for that way. At the end, the result will prove him wrong or right. But some will say that one of you was maybe obstinate. He won't listen to people's advice that change your government, change, reshuffle. Some have stayed there for 8 years and go. The merits and demerits of it. I don't want to take a very hard position on that matter. But if I wanted to be just a politician, I would say, why not change and let some others go and let others come? But economy is not like that.
I mean, and I know you're a very honest, fair-minded individual. Would you say those two were possibly two of his biggest mistakes?
I don't know.
Everybody has that. As in keeping Ofori-Atta on despite the internal agitation and also keeping all these ministers for almost 8 years.
As I said, for almost 8 years, that's what he did.
Would you say those two were possibly two of his biggest mistakes?
I wouldn't call it a mistake. I'm not admitted that it's a mistake. I've told you that it was conviction. It's conviction that
that was
they were
him.
Yes.
But you looking as a friend.
As I said, I told you that if I was for scheduled reasons, maybe I will do that. For scheduled reasons, but he's looking at what as the top of the government and at the top of the economy that was being constructed. He thought it was okay. And the decision sometimes was that, the saying was sometimes was that you don't change a winning team. Maybe we lost because they were not a winning team from the perspective of the ordinary voter, of the ordinary Ghanaian, maybe. But as I said, we didn't carry them along over that. If you had carried them along, I don't think you have lost the election.
Give me your assessment of John Dramani Mahama's last 6 months.
It's too early. Still too early. But a few things that I've done, I'm not happy with.
Okay.
The way
What are you not happy with?
I'm not happy with what is it? The way people were being, you know, their houses were being invaded and dragged, refused them bail, did this. The way people were going to the dragging some people from offices. I thought it was very unfair, and some of us even had to be victims because they were talking about is not OSP Operation Loot.
The oral.
Aura.
Recover all loot.
Recover loot, which was a gimmick.
And your sons and the acquisition of the land close to the Labadi Beach Hotel were part of that investigation, were they not?
Yes, they will. At the end of the day, realize that it was only blowing hot and cold, nothing.
You're serious about that?
Absolutely.
It was part of the
it's
oral
in court.
document, yes.
Court. They made it look like I, Freddie Blay, have used my position to go maybe twist the arm of the hotel and taking.
Have any of your sons been the subject of any investigations in the last 6 months on the back of the oral work?
Have I?
Operation Recover All Loot. Have any of your sons or yourself been a subject of any investigation, any invitation?
Oh, well, that's a very direct question. I'm saying the only thing was the what is it? The Polo Beach Club.
Yes.
Which was adjacent to, adjacent.
Yes.
To there. That's right.
Yes.
And people made.
I know it was part of the Operation Recover All Loot.
That's right.
Pro. And I'm
no
saying they have finished their work now. Have they been the subject of any investigation?
There hadn't been any subject of any investigation. The only thing is that it's in court over the parking lot that is at the other side. The hotel says that it is their property. And we say, no, the Ghana Traditional Council gave it to us. Gave it to my children. Over it in court. That's all.
But you're saying that the state, after all the accusations, have not invited any of your sons on this matter to answer any questions?
NIB did.
Okay.
Once. I went there with my son and another lawyer, but they didn't allow me to go this way. And he just wrote the story, what it is, and that's at the end.
That's the only contact your sons have had with the state investigative agency?
Nothing, my brother. See, they make so much noise about this things. Particularly Okujetu. I don't want to, now he's a minister. I don't want to say too many things. I don't want to say loot. And I should not have a property in Accra when he has a property. The choicest place in Accra. And he says he's rented it. The place said, no, they don't rent. They don't rent. You can't even be bold enough to accept that he has a house there. But as it is, it's history. Let's move on.
It may be too early, and the state agencies may be still investigating.
I don't mind. I don't mind. That's not. See, it's not. If you hit, there is a saying that property is not theft. If you break your friend's house, you also be broken down. If your friend has been able to acquire it, it's possible you can also acquire it. It's against us all to aspire to greater things. But if you have not had it, go and cut your friend down, mow it down, particularly on mere agitation and propaganda. It's very bad. Make it look like your others are thieves and you are the only clean person. When it's not true. Maybe even the opposite may be the truth. But as I said, a lot of water is passing under the bridge. Let's hope that we will be around for a while to know the end of what.
So you say all that was simply much ado about that?
Nothing. Much ado about nothing. We are in court over the land. And then the hotel says sound.
I mean, assessing John Mohammed's last 6 months, though, I mean, if you look at the economy, even you must applaud him. CD.
Applaud him for what?
CD is performing miracles.
I don't believe in miracles.
The evidence.
Now, if you say miracles, then I have my doubts.
Let me be specific. Let me be specific.
Evans, if you talk about miracles, I say please.
Well, let me
miracles.
It was a figurative expression just to describe where we are with the CD.
Okay.
This is a CD that is performed in terms of its appreciation against all the major trading currencies. Historically, high performance in terms of appreciation. You have inflation now trending downwards. The IMF recently is predicting will end the year single digit 8%. Again, that again will be the first in possibly more than 2 decades. You now have the foreign reserves. We have foreign reserves now in excess of 4 months, which is something that a short few months ago, yes, absolutely, yes. A short few months ago, you could only dream about, right? Under the
few months. What do you mean by that?
Well,
I don't know whether you are talking economics or
I'm talking
you
economics.
are narrating
I'm
something
talking
else.
economics in terms of the buffer that we've built.
But
in terms of our ability
no. When you talk about
currency.
the reserves,
Yes.
do you know what the government left? Tell me, you that.
That is Freddie Blay. He is the former chairman of the NPP. He is a member of the National Council. He's a former deputy speaker of parliament, and he's going to be there on Saturday at the National Delegates Conference. We'll be there too, starting from 7 a.m. You want to join us? Enjoy the rest of the evening.